I did a lot of studying over the summer. I don't know if people who really didn't know that much about what I was doing thought that all I was doing all summer was just like interacting with Robert Pattinson and his girlfriend. Well, that's not true. I did a lot of studying. I had to. I knew I was going to be taking a test to try to get into a biotech program. I didn't actually end up getting into it, but that's because they just didn't want to take me. They didn't want to take me not because I wasn't qualified. I mean, I got a perfect score on their test. I did, because that was my goal, and I did. I mean, it was just math and reading, but I missed one on each section last year when I took it without advance notice that I was going to be taking it, and then so this year I was like, I want to get a perfect score, and I did, and I studied for weeks, and then when I had the interview, I thought I was hopefully going to get in, but I was studying after that too. I was starting to study like chemistry and stuff because I just never really felt like I really got it that well. When I took it in high school, I took it in college. I mean, I kind of barely got a B in high school and barely got a C in college, just because I was very intimidated by it. So I started studying it over the summer. There's a lot of websites online where you can. I can remember some of the general concepts, and at least what the terms are for some of the processes and some of the things that you have in chemistry. So I was just like, but I want to really understand it, so I've been studying that. Didn't get into that biotech program. The next one, it seemed like they just kind of seemed like they weren't really that interested. And so it's a good thing I had done all the studying that I did, because for the orientation for the second biotechnology program that I applied for, they had a test, and I didn't know we were going to have one. And if I hadn't done all the studying that I had done, I would not have done as well as I did. I mean, it was a much harder test than the one that I took over the summer. And then, I don't know, I haven't studied in like a week, but I've been doing a lot of that actually. So I don't want people to think that like all I ever do is like run around screaming about how I'm being stalked and to talk to movie stars and get into fights with movie stars online. That's not what I was doing. I really had to do this, and then now it's been like, I've gotten into this place called Bunker Hill. They have a biotech program, and I'm worried that I'm going to get raped. Quite honestly, because of the name of the school. I couldn't find an apartment in time not to get evicted last year. I guess it was 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014. And that was because the conglomerate code was just this incredibly horrible issue. I couldn't find a place to live. If I had, I could have moved out without being evicted. But I just felt like I couldn't. There were entire towns where I couldn't look for an apartment. There's not a lot of choice anyway in terms of like what's available to me within my price range with the voucher that I have. I had to get a million extensions for the voucher. I am harassed and stalked all the time. There's just like this constant threat. There's a constant threat of, that I'm just going to be like raped and killed kind of like, wherever at any time. And that kind of tends to wear on a person, But anyway, there's only so much you can do with your time. I know that what I have to do for myself first is kind of the most important thing. I mean, who's gonna listen to someone who just is always living in a homeless shelter and never actually has a job and never finishes school? You know what I mean? I could be the most brilliant person in the world, but I have to be able to make my own life work. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I at least have to try. But it's upsetting, and it's really hard to do as well as you otherwise would at whatever it is you try to do if you are constantly being harassed, constantly being stalked, constantly have that on your mind, never really know what's going to happen next, except you can be pretty sure that it's something bad. It's just I have a very, very, very stressful life. I really do.